Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing something terrifying. No one remembers you. Not your friends, your family, your coworkers, not even strangers on the street. Your name doesn't ring a bell. Your face doesn't trigger recognition. Your memories, achievements, relationships, and history have simply vanished from the minds of every person you've ever known. But what would really happen if this bizarre phenomenon occurred? Would you still exist? Would you be the same person? And how would society react if everyone forgot you overnight? Memory isn't just recalling facts. It's the backbone of identity. Some psychologists argue that memory plays a central role in how we understand ourselves and define who we are. Without memory, even of others, the social signals that validate our existence and importance disappear. And that can deeply impact your sense of meaning in life. Research suggests that being forgotten in social interactions can feel similar to social exclusion or rejection, and it can reduce feelings of personal significance. Our memories aren't perfect recordings. They're reconstructive and malleable. They shift and change depending on how often something is recalled, what details are emphasized, and what is forgotten over time. When a memory isn't accessed regularly, it becomes harder to retrieve, a process sometimes influenced by how we talk about events with others. There's a big difference between one person forgetting you and everyone forgetting you. Individual forgetting is normal. People often forget casual acquaintances or details about your life. But collective forgetting is powerful. Collective memory refers to the shared memories within a group that shape identity and culture. Collectively remembering events or people helps a society maintain a narrative, and when something is forgotten by the group, it can fade from history altogether. If everyone forgot you, your presence would evaporate from communicative memory, the memory sustained through everyday social interactions, and eventually from cultural memory unless records, photos, or digital archives preserved traces of you. Now imagine you still remember everyone, but no one remembers you. Every attempt to reconnect would supposedly be met with blank stares. Even close relatives would have no recollection of shared moments. The psychological impact of being forgotten could parallel feelings of social ostracism or rejection, which research shows lowers meaning in life, even if it doesn't immediately crush self-esteem. Think about how often our interactions depend on recognition. A nod across the room, shared jokes, subtle emotional cues that signal, "I know you." Without that shared history, every encounter would feel alien. You might remain the same person internally, your memories, goals, and personality unchanged. But externally, it would be like you never existed. The social feedback loop that helps reinforce identity would be gone. Here's where things get philosophical. Some theories of identity propose that our self is built not only on personal memory, but also on social recognition and feedback. In other words, the story others tell about you becomes part of who you are. Without others remembering you, and without the shared conversations that preserve those memories, you'd still think you're the same person, but your role in the world would be erased. There's also evidence that forgetting is not just individual, but socially mediated. When people talk about the past together, memories can converge or fade depending on what's emphasized or ignored. Over time, if no one recalls you, traces of your life would simply be lost from the social narrative. In a world where everyone forgets you, The only trace of your existence might be in digital records, social media posts, emails, photos, videos, archived writings, and online profiles. These external records become a form of artificial collective memory, preserving what human minds no longer do. But even those records can't replace the lived reality of being remembered by people around you. In fact, memory researchers warn that as artificial systems become better at storing memories, there may be memory power asymmetry between humans and digital technologies, meaning systems remember more accurately than we do, potentially redefining how identity is preserved in the digital age. Forgetting isn't always a negative. Memory biases like fading affect bias show how forgetting can lessen emotional pain over time by making negative memories fade faster than positive ones. But collective forgetting of a person would strip away the emotional context that defines how people relate to someone, and potentially how they understand themselves in relation to that person. Likes are the #1 way. YouTube knows this video is valuable. So if you're enjoying this journey, please give it a like to help us out. There's also the idea of social cryptomnesia, where groups remember that change happened but forget how it came about or who was involved. Extrapolate that to individuals, and you get a world where your influence might persist indirectly without your name attached to it. So, what happens if you disappear from everyone's memory overnight? Your internal identity stays intact. Your memories, personality, and sense of self remain, because identity isn't stored only in others' minds, but your social identity, the role you play, the history you share with friends and family, the impact you've had, effectively disappears. Without shared memory, your existence becomes like a story no one can tell. You would be a person still alive, yet socially forgotten. And that raises a deeper question. Is identity only something you carry inside, or is it also something others hold for you?